Hello, my amazing artists. Today we are going to be creating art in the optical illusion or op art style. You're going to create your own illusion of three-dimensional form and depth by creating this project. So I'm going to be teaching you about value and line and shape, and you get to create your own three-dimensional looking optical illusion art. Today, what you need is a piece of paper, markers, and a black crayon. Also, you're going to need a straight edge, so you can use either a ruler or just a piece of scrap paper that you folded in half. To begin, I'm going to take my black marker and I'm going to start by making a little dot somewhere on the paper. You don't want it too far off in the corner, but it doesn't have to be in the very middle. So I'm gonna kind of find the middle and then go off to the side just a little bit to make my little dot. Then you're going to draw 6 lines going all the way from one side of the paper to the other side of the paper, either with your ruler, or if you don't have a ruler, just take a piece of paper, some scrap paper, fold it in half, and fold it in half again and use that as a straight edge. And I'm going to draw kind of like 6 spokes of a wheel. So I'm going to draw from the edge right through that center line. So you want to make sure your center point is touching the ruler, but the ruler doesn't hide it. You want to see that point all the way from the edge through that point and across. If you'd like to do this in pencil first, because you're worried you may not land in that center point, that's okay. So there, I've got one. I'm going to turn it at another angle. Make sure it's touching that circle, but not hiding it. Go all the way from one edge to the other. And you want to have 6 lines going across, all going through that center point. Now, if it's off to the side and your line does not, oops, bumped on my finger. Your line does not go all the way to the edge, just carefully slide your ruler over to the edge, making sure that it still lines up, the ruler lines up with that line, and finish to the edge. So now I've got 1, 2, 3 lines, and I need 2 more. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be drawing smiley face lines inside every other pie piece. This is like a big pie that we've sliced in half to share with your friends, but we're only going to use every other. So we're going to draw on this piece, skip that one, and draw on that one. So in this one, I'm going to draw a smile line going from one edge to the other and another one. So I'm going to fill the whole pie slice with smile lines, and it might even go off the edge of the paper and then you can pick it up over here. So I've got my smile lines. Then I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to rotate my paper, skip this one, and draw more smile lines. Next, you're going to choose a color marker, just one color, and you're going to be coloring in every other stripe on your lines, your pie slices that have lines on them. So I'm going to start by coloring in this first little stripe on my pie slice. I'm going to skip this one, leaving it white, and then I'm going to color in the next section of my pie slice. And then I'm going to keep going for all the pie slices that have lines in them. Once you have colored in every other stripe on all of your pie slices that have the smile line on them, next we're going to switch back to our black marker and we're going to take the blank pie slices and we're going to draw a frowny line on them. So as if you're drawing a frowny face. So it's the opposite of the smiley face. Now we have a frowny face. Don't be afraid to rotate your paper as you go through. Makes it a little easier. Next, we're going to be coloring in every other slice or section of our pie slice. This time I recommend choosing a complementary color to your first color. So I chose red. A complementary color to red is green. They're opposite from each other on the color wheel. Other complementary colors are blue and orange, yellow and purple, and red and green. With orange, blue and orange are complementary, and so they really pop against each other. So since I chose red, I'm going to do green. And again, I'm going to be coloring in every other section. So I'm going to start with this first section closest to the point. I'm going to color that in green. Then I'm going to skip the next section and then color the next one in green. I'm staying in the same pie slice. The colors should not cross over into the other pie slice. Now we're not done just yet. To really make these look three-dimensional, like they're popping off the page, we need to add the element of art, value. Value is the transition from light to dark. So when you're coloring, if you color straight across like this is all one value. It all has the same level of darkness or lightness. So to create a change in value, you need to change the pressure and how you push on the page. So you can start out pushing hard, but then you need to start pushing lighter and a little bit lighter, and a little bit lighter until it starts to fade to white. It takes a little bit of practice to get an even gradient. Even right here, it jumps a little bit too much straight from super dark to light. So I can go back and add a little bit more there to give it a more gentle transition. We're going to be adding value to the edge of our pie slices. So you can use a black crayon or a black colored pencil to add value. And we're going to add value along just the very edge of each pie slice. So we already have the darkest value with our black marker line, but I'm going to go along the edge and just add a little bit of a medium value with my black crayon. You can add a little bit of a lighter value, and this gives it a little bit more of a three-dimensional effect. I'm going to try and go a little bit darker closer to the line. And then when I do the same on the other side, darkest where it touches the black line, and then it gets lighter in towards the center, it really makes this pie slice start to look more like a cone shape, a three-dimensional shape, instead of just a flat two-dimensional shape. So now it's with the value, it makes it look round and three-dimensional. This adds to our optical illusion effect. Now I'm going to add this effect to all of my pie slices, but I'm going to speed it up a little bit. One final finishing touch, I recommend experimenting with a black or a white colored pencil or crayon to add a highlight in the very center, and this will even push it further towards that three-dimensional look. So you can test out, see which one you think you like better, which one might show up a little bit better. I think the crayon might show up a little bit more. And this will be a subtle little way to finish it just in the center. It'll especially show up on the colored section to just push that lighter and add to that three-dimensional effect.